Hey, welcome back. So we're back in Spain after our trip to Sweden, and our focus from now on is basically getting the boat prepared to cross the Atlantic. We've got lots to do, so we spend the next few days planning what jobs are critical, ordering parts, servicing gear, and installing new equipment.
Measuring the stays. Because we're going to replace some of the stays. I'm going to get them ordered.
So it's time to measure out the stays that we want to replace. A little bit nervous about it, because if you get it wrong, it's a real shame, because they take a long time to make and they're really expensive, and that wouldn't be great for our departure plans and bank account. But I just got off the phone with the rigging company, asking them how I should measure it, and it seems like I've got a little bit of leeway anyway, because the turnbuckle gives you a little bit of space to get things a little bit wrong if you don't measure it up just right. So we're going to measure them in situ, just with a big long measuring tape. I'm going to go up the mast and measure them, and then we're going to get them ordered. I'll just rig it back up.
Cool. I'm really happy that the electric winch is working again, because the last few times I've had to do this, I've had to manually winch him off.
These wages have pretty serious cracks in them, so we want to get these replaced. So I'm going to measure from the top of the pin here down to where Alex is.
Okay, so on this one, yeah?
On this middle one.
Back here? Okay.
We've got this spare sail out that we were given by a friend who he had it given to him as well. So we're gonna hoist it up and see how well it fits, and then if it's all good, then we'll be able to use that for a double head sail setup. Have a longer foot on it.
Yeah.
Have it to somewhere like that. Because then you could like have this out like that.
Yeah.
I think it's worth trying when we're out there.
Yeah. I just went and picked up the biggest package we've received to date.
It's huge. These are the new water tanks. All our flexible ones eventually gave up, and so we forked out and bought new rigid ones. We've only got 100 litres on the boat at the moment, which just isn't enough in general, and especially not when you're trying to cross an ocean. With this we should have, I think 350 is what we said in total. So, water tank saga continues. Oh man.
Fitting them was a whole other task in itself. In an ideal world, we would have had custom tanks made for the space, but that would have taken too long and cost too much money. We also made the decision to increase our solar capacity and got some better quality flexible panels to replace the cheap ones that broke last winter. We chose ones that could fit into the same mounts that we'd already sewn. Then you just want to have the things going to the middle, maybe?
So, finally installing this through deck fitting, decided to go for one of these goosenecks because you can pretty much put as many cables as you want through them. And the idea is that this piece basically is going to go like that on there. Stops any rain going down, but it leaves plenty of room for cables. And it will finally look finished instead of having like a hole just jammed with a bunch of butyl tape in there. So we got 3 sources of power. This is all power generation stuff here. We've got the back solar panel, 450 watts. We've got the wind generator, and we've got a new set of solar panels, flexible ones, on the Bimini for 210 watts. So we should be good, but it gives a nice redundancy as well, like in case one system goes down, then we can still charge. It's a lot of cables, huh? All our renewable power.
We are up pretty late. Lars is just finishing up some jobs. Just starting to feel a bit of the pressure now of needing to blitz through these jobs. So we got Lars just finishing this through hull with all the cables for the solar panel up here.
The solar panels arrived today, and we got them fitted, ran all the cables, installed the new charge controller, ran new wiring down to the batteries, then installed that through deck, flexed it in, and now I'm just putting the netting back and clearing up. So if that all works, that'll be a really good result. Just look how many tools it took to do just that job.
That's a lot of tools.
So one of the decisions that we made for leaving the med and continuing to sail is to upgrade our AIS. We've got an AIS receiver, but we don't send. And it's just nice to know that other people can see you on the AIS. For those who don't know, AIS is automatic identification system, I think, or identification system. And it's basically a signal that you can send out from your boat and that other boats can receive. And they can know things like what direction you're going, how fast you're going, what kind of boat you are, and more importantly, know where you are. What that does then automatically is basically help you figure out if you're going to hit each other. And more boats, commercial boats, seem to rely on that and not actually have people on watch all the time. And if we aren't actually sending, then we're relying on either somebody actually seeing our lights from the bridge or radar, which those should be fine and generally are fine, but AIS gives you that like peace of mind that people can see you. Yeah, it is a bit worrying at night sometimes. You're like, oh, have you seen? And many times we're on the radio saying like, hey, have you seen us? And then, yep, they've seen us, so it's fine. So we decided to go for it and upgrade to a transponder, which now sends and pings our information out into the world.
Time to leave Estepona.
It's been a busy morning. Been hectically finishing up some jobs. We've got most done. Water tanks are done, solar panels are in. We've rearranged the entire boat, which is like painful. And now finally leaving Estepona.
Careful of the line here, yeah? He says just pick it up.
I mean, but this is obviously just a float.
Yeah, I know. That one. But what about, he means the ones over there, doesn't he?
But I mean, look, it's all connected to a big fishing line. Just floating, just air.
Yeah, I know. So we just got to the coast and this guy, like the Guardia Civil, was just stopped us and asked us if we'd seen these jerry cans out here because they're worried about drugs around here. And this is just fishing stuff, I think. But yeah, we just checked and there's nothing. They're obviously floating, so they're empty. You wanted to see if they were full.
I think, to us, we knew that was fishing stuff, right? We see that stuff out there all the time.
No, but obviously it would be a good cover-up. You know, you can't check every single fishing pot in the Med and not say that they've got drugs in them.
True. Those things are empty, but what they could have done is sunk a bunch of stuff to the ground and put floats on, and then you have to pull it up. But it's clearly attached to a net, so. But I mean, then we come back into shore after running the policeman's errand of going and checking, and he's like, by the way, you can't keep the dinghy here. Probably have to go somewhere else. No, man. Gotta keep it here.
So we just woke up and it feels like it's really early, but it's like 8 o'clock. But the sun gets up so late now. So we've just been getting up once it's light. It's just getting a little bit colder now. Just had to dig out all my fleeces and jumpers and get cozy because it is not warm in the mornings anymore. We are just anchored outside La Duquesa. We're about 20 miles away from Gibraltar, and we're going to head down there today. The final leg of the Mediterranean chapter. We can do it.
Wow. It's cold.
Oh, ça va? One.
T'as vu?
Refreshed and clean. It'd been a while. We ran out of hot water a while ago, so we've had to brace ourselves for a cold shower for a while. It still is a lake out here, but also we're not going very far, so it's really calm. You appreciate mornings like this because it can get a little bit wild around here. Feels pretty good to be out here. It's just saying with Lars, it's gonna be the furthest west that we've been so far with the boat. This is exactly where we turned back last year, La Duquesa. So we're officially, Navika's officially been the most furthest west since we've been her owners in the past 2 years, which is really exciting. Because last year we didn't really sail to new places, but we sailed around the same waters that we'd sailed the year before. So it's just really exciting to be able to sail somewhere new. It just makes me realize how long it's been since we've had that feeling. Just, you know, we don't really know where we're going and we haven't been there before with the boat. It's just all so new, and that sense of novelty and adventure is coming back. So the excitement does too.
Making us some pancakes. They're supposed to be going around the rock.
Yeah.
We can just see down Gibraltar Strait.
So you have Europe on this side and Africa on that side. Africa. We came round the rock towards Gibraltar and we anchored off the Spanish side of the rock, just off the town of La Linea, which is walking distance away from Gibraltar itself. So we made it to La Linea and we were wondering about going to land today, but in the end we've decided we're going to get on with some boat jobs and do the big one here, which is replacing 2 of our stays. So we ordered the stays off Jimmy Green and got them shipped down from the UK, which isn't great post-Brexit because you have to pay a little bit more for customs and things, duties. But anyway, still worked out cheaper and easier and good quality at least. And so we are going to replace them now.
I can't get this on. Like it's not the same thread. So, I mean, we shouldn't be surprised really. There's always something. But turns out our boat is unique in that the stays are threaded in the opposite way to what is convention, at least here and now. And I should have checked really, but because you could only order the studs in a certain in the right-hand thread, I just assumed that that's how it's done. And then obviously come to put it in and it's the wrong way around. So, okay. What it means is we need to replace the bottom half too, the toggles and the turnbuckle, which is an extra £100 per stay.
But they have some in a chandlery here in Gibraltar, so we're probably going to go pick them up here.
Yeah.
There's always something.
Just a minor setback and a mistake that only cost you £200 is, we should maybe just consider ourselves lucky. When you're getting new stays done, double check what direction these threads are. We just made that mistake. Usually the convention is that going from the top, they should thread in to the right, like the normal way you would expect, righty-tighty, and then from the bottom it's to the left. For some reason on our boat it's the opposite way around, which we just found out the hard way. Should have checked, but that's fine. We were gonna keep the turnbuckle piece because it seems fine, but and just replace the stay. But now we'll just replace the whole thing, which is probably for the best anyway.
We walked across the border to Gibraltar and it felt really strange to change countries so quickly. It genuinely felt like being back in the UK, but in the sun. We just went to the Morrison's here and picked up some goodies. But we've just gone a bit wild with all the things we can't get, like just like snacks and chutneys. What else did we get?
Sweets and teas and
biscuits and yeah, all sorts of stuff. So
all good stuff for the upcoming passage.
Yeah.
I think like a little wine gum.
Little treats as we go.
It's gonna be great.
Good afternoon. So this morning we were on anchor and all of a sudden we heard this like horn right next to the boat and someone trying to get our attention, so we came up and it was the Guardia Civil, which is like the local police here, who came up to us to tell us that we couldn't anchor where we were. So they went around all the boats in the Anchorage and asked them to all move, and we've heard that this happens. We're a bit bummed that it happened to us, but there you go. So we're in the marina now, which isn't too bad. We've got a nice spot here, nice view on the rock, and yeah, a little bit more space. It means we can actually do boat jobs a bit more easily as well. So it's not the worst thing in the world, and we were going to come into the marina in a few days' time anyway, so yeah. Time for some morning yoga. Pretty narrow though, so I better not fall in. We headed into the centre of La Linea to check out the market and pick up some more supplies. We were pleasantly surprised by La Linea after having heard quite a lot about its border town drug smuggling reputation.
We're heading back to the boat. Down this way.
Oh yeah.
Bum sore. Put a little bit of grease on there. This is gonna look way better.
One big job down, but plenty more to go. We also installed new plumbing for the bilge pump and put another coat of epoxy on the countertop in a lighter white this time, which we're really happy with. Wow, it's so much lighter than the other one, isn't it?
Just move it around a little bit. So what do you got here?
The most indulgent treat. Medjool date. We picked these up at the market. They had a really good deal because they're really expensive usually. You just pop a little almond inside the medjool date and then enjoy. With a coffee. So good. We also made the most of some downtime to do a deep clean of the boat as well. There were 1,000 different spaces beneath and behind cupboards and drawers that really needed a deep clean. One of the more fun jobs to do was dropping off our life raft to be serviced. It was amazing to see all the other life rafts there that were being serviced as well. It's quite funny, isn't it? Yeah, we've just come to drop the life raft off to get it serviced, and it looks like we've come to the right place.
I'd
This
say.
big one here takes 109 people, the really big one at the back, and it's used on cruise ships, and they usually deploy it in fours. So 4 of them at a time, and just people coming down this chute from these huge cruise ships. It's kind of weird.
Crazy.
Yeah. Ours is so much smaller compared to the other ones. Look at all these things. Crazy. We enjoyed some time with friends and family who were in Gibraltar for the week. We went to this great restaurant overlooking the Gibraltar Strait and were able to get a feel for what our exit out of the Mediterranean would look like in a few days' time. Thanks for watching. Join us next time as we finally leave the Mediterranean and head out to the Atlantic.